hot. So I'm sitting in my car, and I'm on location for this episode of You Gotta Have Hart. Less than 24 hours ago, there was another mass school shooting down in Texas, and we're going to talk about this a little bit. So sit back, grab some popcorn, because it's going to be kind of long, kind of scattered. Anyway, I am on location here at a local elementary school where kids are actually out playing. You might hear them in the background. But I spent almost a decade at this school. My kids came here. Between the two of them, they were here for 9 years. And they... hold on. I wanted to turn everything off in here. I realized the dashboard was on and stuff. So anyway, for 9 years, and I was on like the school board here for a while. I helped out with like when they had field day. I helped out, I think, with all 9 that I was here for. I helped out in the library after school. I came here during like lunch and helped with stuff. So I was here like a lot. And the kids that were shot in Texas, as you know, they are unfortunately kind of a lot here in the U.S., sadly. They were young. They were, kids, I think, like 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th grade or something like that. Very young. And it's incredibly sad. But I've been here for 9 years, and still sometimes come here for different school things and whatever. Certainly not as often, now that my kids are older. But my daughter's still in, local school here, local school. So anyway, seeing kids here for 9 years, families, getting to know people, teachers, all this stuff. As far as, these kids getting shot, it's unbelievable. I know what it's like to lose a child because my wife and I lost our firstborn daughter. She was born very premature and only lived for 3 days. So I know what it's like to have lost a child on one hand. On the other hand, I don't know what it's like to have lost a child that you actually knew, because 3 days, our daughter never left the hospital. We didn't know her. She was a premature infant for 3 days, and that's it. But I can't even imagine to go through losing a child that, like, had a life, had a personality. Like, these poor families, these poor parents of the children in Texas, they're waking up today and, maybe having a cup of coffee, and the house is silent. There's no child in the house getting ready for school today. And for the rest of their lives, they're going to be at the supermarket and see the child's favorite breakfast cereal. They're going to hear something, and it's going to trigger a memory of how their child hated broccoli or something. In all of these things, they're going to see an ad on TV, and it's going to be, like, that's the toy that's still sitting in my child's bedroom that I haven't had the heart or courage to get rid of. Like, that's the toy that my child, that's the stuffed animal my child slept with. That's, all of it, it's unbelievable. So anyway, and I have stuff all written out here, and it's going to just kind of random, and I'm going to try not to get too emotional about it. But it's disgusting. It's unbelievable. How does this happen? I look at it at just pure selfishness. Like I saw it with the masks, with coronavirus, COVID-19, whatever you want to call it. The masks. People are like, well, nobody's going to tell me to wear a mask. It's like, you're wearing a mask to slow down a disease, a virus that is killing people. So it's slightly inconvenient for you, or you have your belief that, like, well, the mask is, they're just trying to control us, or like whatever your reasoning is for not wearing a mask, it's your reasoning and it's pure selfishness. So all the shooting, I see it as pure selfishness. Okay, now, you could say, well, the kid, in this case, this Texas one, he was an 18-year-old kid. Apparently, he shot his grandmother, then crashed his truck in front of the school or by the school or something, and got out with apparently a handgun and an assault rifle, and went into the school and started shooting. I don't know, because they're still trying to piece everything together. It happened, yesterday afternoon, and it's the next morning that I'm doing this. So they're still trying to piece everything together. But that seems to be what happened. So, you could say, well, like mental health issues, blah, blah, blah. Of course. Of course, that needs to be addressed. And of course the kid had mental health issues. Somebody that doesn't have mental health issues isn't going to go into a school and start shooting. So, of course, like that's a given. But at any rate, the people that are like, they're taking our guns away, that's pure selfishness. Because, I don't see how they're trying to take your guns away. They want stricter laws so that maybe less people will have guns. Okay? So, if you're concerned that the stricter laws might prohibit you from acquiring a firearm, then, you're exactly the person that shouldn't be having a firearm. Okay? If they did a background check on me, a query check, because of my work, I have it done, last year I think I had it done 3 times. So it's not a big deal. Do a query check on me. It's fine. Check my employment histories and stuff like that. It's fine. Check my social media posts and everything. It's fine. Interview people that know me. Interview family and friends and people in the community that know me to see if I could, responsibly be a gun owner. It would come back fine. No matter how strict the laws are, I would still be able to get a gun. So, if you're afraid that they're going to look at something and, go, this person might not, be a responsible gun owner, well, then that's exactly why you shouldn't be a gun owner. So it's selfishness, okay? I know people that are gun owners, legally, of course. I think all of them have, the concealed carry thing, certificate, whatever. So clearly, they're totally fine and they are allowed to have a gun. As far as I know, stricter gun laws would not prohibit any of these people from continuing to be gun owners. So I don't see what the problem is. It's just pure selfishness. I think that's what gun control, the anti-gun control people are all about. You know, get rid of assault weapons. An 18-year-old had an assault weapon. Why? Like, what does he need that for? What does anybody need that for? Okay? You know, I don't see that anybody needs an assault weapon. Okay, I get it, hunting, sure. Like, have a gun for hunting, whatever. Have a gun because you feel like you need protection or whatever. Okay, but really the bottom line is this kid, this 18-year-old, had, it seemed, apparently 2 guns, and he went into a school and shot kids, shot a couple teachers, shot his grandma first. So if there were stricter gun laws and whoever was the owner of these guns, I don't know, but whoever was the owner of these guns wasn't able to get these guns, then this kid wouldn't have had those 2 guns. It's as simple as that. If somebody does if somebody takes a gun, whether they're the legal owner or not, a parent, a friend, whatever, if they have a gun and then commit a violent crime using that gun, if the owner of that gun was more responsible or didn't have the gun in the first place, that person wouldn't have the gun. So you could argue, well, you know, they might get the gun somewhere else. The guy's checking up on me. Yeah, sure, absolutely. They might, you know, get a gun somewhere else. That's totally fine. But now I got off track because this guy, you know, checking on me. You know, they might get one somewhere else. But if less people have them, there's less chance that they're going to get them. You know, it's just out of control to me. Let's talk about like ghost guns and stuff. You know, somebody's making these guns using like a 3D printer, okay? And again, it's pure selfishness. The guy's turning around. I don't know if he wants to talk to him. So, you know, they don't know if they, you know, so they're making, I got off track again. Why won't people just leave me alone? Because I look so super suspicious. So they're making these guns with 3D printers, and it's pure selfishness because, you know what? They're making them illegally. They're making them for some reason, going to use them or sell them. Either way, illegally. And you know what? If you're making an illegal gun and selling it illegally, you're going to be putting it in the hands of somebody that's going to use it illegally. There's no 2 ways about it. So, you know, I mean, we got to get rid of all of this stuff. And then, you know, we talk about, you know, oh, and by the way, I also jotted down, this is the 27th shooting this year of 2022. We are only this 27th school shooting. We are only 20 weeks into the year. So that means that this is happening in the United States more than once every week. It's unbelievable. It's unacceptable, and I don't see how this is even happening in modern society. But whatever. So, you know, I don't have the answers. I hope somebody does and somebody comes up with the answers. But so then I see all over social media people, you know, and they're like, well, you know, they're trying to take our guns away, blah, blah, blah. It's like I already stated, they're not trying to take your guns away. They're just trying to take the guns away from people that shouldn't have guns. It's as simple as that, you know? I mean, growing up, my dad had a gun collection. We had dozens and dozens of guns in the house on display. They were in a beautiful glass case on display. You know, I mean, you can have guns if you're a responsible gun owner. It's that simple. It's that easy. So they're not trying to take your guns away. If you're responsible enough to be owning a gun. Then the other thing I see is like, follow the money. That's a good one. That's an awesome one. Follow the money. People, gun lobbyists are donating millions and millions of dollars to politicians who then vote for the laws to keep gun control, down. So follow the money. That's exactly what's happening. People are like, well, they're trying to take our guns away. Follow the money. Well, I follow the money, and the money says that they want everyone to have guns. So that's exact opposite of what you're trying to prove with the follow the money argument. That's ridiculous. I saw another person post something that New Hampshire, practically everybody owns a gun, and gun violence is virtually non-existent in the state of New Hampshire. So see, it works. So I was like, well, that's interesting. Like, I wonder if that's true. So a very quick Google search. I didn't research it much at all, but New Hampshire has about 40% gun ownership. That's about average for the United States. It's certainly not virtually everyone. And gun violence in New Hampshire, surprise, surprise, it's about average for the United States. It's not substantially lower, it's not substantially higher. So this person made a statement that not only is false on the gun ownership in New Hampshire, false on the violent crimes in New Hampshire, but trying to prove a point with completely false information, and then people see it and go, that must be true, because they don't actually look into it. They just keep scrolling on their phones, see something and go, oh, interesting. On top of that, while I looked up the information about New Hampshire, all the states that have the highest gun ownership percentage-wise, okay, and I saw people saying like, well, New Hampshire has, a lot of like, forest, and there's not as many people there. We're talking percentage-wise, okay? So percentage-wise, that negates that California is a huge state, size-wise as well as population, and something like Wyoming is a big state but much less population. So it goes by percentage. So that makes everything kind of equal. But there is a huge correlation between the states that have higher gun ownership and the states that have higher gun violence. So the point that this person was trying to prove with lies, with incorrect information, whether they realized it or not, is actually exactly the opposite. So they're trying to prove something as true using false information, and what they're trying to prove that's true is actually the exact opposite. So they're using a lie of gun ownership percentage, a lie of violent crime percentage, to prove a lie that owning guns makes everybody safer. It's absolutely crazy, and I think I'm going to wrap this up because it's been long enough. And, I don't know if the police are going to swing by to see why exactly I'm here in my car under the shade of a tree, across the street from a elementary school, especially today. But really, it seems to be happening weekly, so virtually any day. But anyway, so that's that. Please discuss in the comments and everything, and hopefully somebody has an answer. I know that I don't. So I don't know.